So that actually went really well. That little tractor had no problem at all. We got it all busted up, real soft soil. Leave some good corn here. We'll come back in here and plant this in millet. 14 days after planting, and we've got us a lush millet field. Now is the time to plant your millet field. Today is June 6th. Next 2 weeks, a perfect time to plant your millet field. Brought to you in part by Deep River Sporting Clays. Safe, fun, family entertainment. And by these additional sponsors. Doing some bush hogging at the back, cleaning up an old clover plot that's been overgrown. We are exactly 14 days after planting our millet, and this whole entire field is a carpet of green, lush millet out here. I am very pleased with what I'm seeing. We have had no rain, so we're back into a dry spell. I've actually got some of my corn starting to show some pretty severe drought stress at the upper end, but most of the corn is doing pretty good even with the dry weather. But the millet is certainly a success. Let's go take a look at it. If you're just now tuning in for the first time, welcome. A lot of you folks know the deal. We were in here. It was a thick, lush fall food plot full of wheat and oats and crimson clover, all kinds of really thick fall food plot that was beginning to dry and die out. We sprayed it to control the grasses that were coming up. Then we came back through it, broadcasted Dove Proso millet on half of the field, brown top millet on the other half of the field, and then just bush hogged it and laid all this thatch on top of the seed. We didn't drill it, we didn't disc it, till it, or anything to prep the soil. We had soil moisture from rain, and we broadcasted it in here, and you can see 2 weeks later, it's up almost 6 inches tall, and that millet was just broadcasted onto the soil. And there are doves flying around, kicked a few out of the shady corner. There were some sitting on the line, so they are in here eating probably some of the millet seed, but they're probably eating a lot of this fall food plot. There's a lot of wheat in here, crimson clover, oats, triticale, all kinds of stuff. So they are probably enjoying all the fall food plot. Now is the time to plant your millet field. Today is June 6th. Next 2 weeks, a perfect time to plant your millet field. I planted mine a little bit early, and that was for a reason. Number one, soil moisture. It's been so dry here. I wanted to take advantage of the soil moisture doing this broadcasting no-till method. I also like my millet to mature out in early August. That way I can burn it by mid-August. Yes, it matures out in 50 to 60 days, but it has to then dry for another 20 or so days in order to be dry enough to burn. And if you follow the channel, you know I love to burn my millet fields. Cleans the field up, leaves the seed very available to the doves. So if you're gonna have it dried out enough to burn mid-August, you gotta plant it end of May, early June. If your plan is just to grow up the millet and leave it standing or just bush hog it, then yeah, first 2 weeks of June is perfectly fine. Some people plant even later, because brown top millet in particular, it'll have seed head on it in just 45 days in some cases. So yeah, you don't want to plant early May, mature out too early and lose all your seed to predation. So end of May if you're wanting to burn it, first couple weeks of June if you're just planning to grow it and bush hog it or leave it standing. Brown top millet is pretty unique characteristic, where it actually will start to mat up on itself and lay down. Birds can actually get into a brown top millet field without manipulating it, which is pretty cool. Now let's go take a look at our corn that was planted in late March. It was planted in the dust and dirt and then sat there for 3 weeks with no rain on it. It has rebounded and is looking really, really good, all things considered. Really thick. They say you want your corn knee-high by July. We are way ahead of that out here in the dove field because we want our corn matured out and dried out in time for the September opener. Now this year we open on September 5th and not the 1st, just the way the days line up. So it actually gives us an extra 4 days of drying time, which might seem like, what's 4 days? It can make a really, really big difference when you're trying to dry out corn cobs. Our pre-emergent program has worked fairly well, considering we sprayed it on the dust and it sat here for 3 weeks with no rain. We do start to have some grasses coming in right here about a month and a half after planting and spraying our pre-emergents. There is some grass starting to come in, but a lot of this corn is up so high now that it shouldn't make a whole lot of difference. But I do want to walk over here and show you something. We have got a terrible Carolina nettle problem in this field. Appears the glyphosate spray didn't even touch it in some areas. Last week I came in here with a backpack sprayer and sprayed triclopyr and 2,4-D mixture. Absolutely smoked this nettle. Did not appear to hurt any of the corn around it. I was doing this with a backpack sprayer, just walking around and spot treating. I can tell I knocked out a lot of it, but I certainly did miss a big chunk of it right here. But the other end of the field is actually looking really good where I backpack sprayed. But this shows you 2,4-D triclopyr will smoke this nettle right here. A couple areas where the planter just either didn't do a good job or it was just so dry and dusty we didn't get good germination. So we do have a few of these areas, but we do have a lot of areas where the planter did very well. So again, 3 weeks of drought and weather, dry weather, I think it did affect us a little bit. But as you shift over into the higher nutrient, higher organic portion of this field right here, this hump in the middle, the corn is looking much, much better. Very thick, very lush, a lot of soil moisture. Population looks decent. Some fall food plot survived termination out here. This right here is a prime example of missing an area with a sprayer. When we did our post spraying, I clearly missed this spot right here because there is about 6 to 8 inch tall grass and all the fall food plot is still in here rocking and rolling. So I clearly missed this swath right here when I came in here and did a post spraying over this corn. So it's really important to get good coverage. Otherwise, you end up with this big swaths of grass where it shouldn't be. But you can tell side by side what got sprayed and what didn't get sprayed. That's the difference herbicide makes in these dove fields. Step down here real quick. I don't know what happened to this corner, but it looks terrible. The planter did not do a good job. We didn't get good germination, and we've actually got predation on a lot of these plants. I think the deer come out of the woods down here. There's kind of a swath right through here where what is here has been eaten out. So this little area right here is just a dead area. It's gonna serve as ultimately just some bare ground, bare soil. Doves like bare ground too. So we're just gonna try and keep it somewhat clean, but we're not gonna come in here and do any planting. Psych, are you kidding me? No inch of this field is gonna be wasted. We're throwing on the tiller. We're actually gonna till up this area right here and plant some more millet. We are not gonna waste it. There's not enough corn through here to make a difference. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna till all this bare area up. We're gonna plant us some brown top millet. Still plenty of time to get it to maturity before the opening day of dove season. So that actually went really well. That little tractor had no problem at all busting up this dirt. It's already been worked once, so it was real easy to cut down through, but just look how soft that is. That 3025E had no problem with that tiller. We got it all busted up, real soft soil. It's actually a pretty good size area. I took out maybe 2 or 3 little puny rows here and 1 little puny row here. I was able to leave some corn there, leave some good corn here. I'll come back in here and plant this in millet. I thought I had brown top millet in the shed, but I was wrong. It's Japanese millet. So there we go. We'll add that into the mix back here. We'll have brown top millet, Dove Proso millet, and then we'll have a little small micro plot of Japanese millet. I am going to plant this really heavy. I anticipate a little bit of issue with germination because there are pre-emergents. I'm hoping that tilling will really knock that pre-emergent down deeper in the soil. This millet's going to sit on top of it, so I'm hoping it's plenty far away from the pre-emergent. But I'm going to seed it pretty heavy because I want it thick. I want it lush. I don't want the Carolina nettle creeping back in here. I want it thick enough to where I can burn it too. Because it's such a small area, I'd love to be able to just light it on fire and burn it all back off. but we're gonna surgically implant some millet right here into our corn. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of everything. A lot of projects going on if you haven't followed along. I thought this was brown top millet. Turns out it is Japanese millet, also from Country Farm and Home. But doves eat it all the same. Millet is millet for the most part. Japanese millet's very drought resistant. It's also somewhat flood tolerant. It's gonna do really well, I think, down in here. We're gonna seed it fairly heavy and then use a tractor to actually track it in to try and firm up that seed bed. Should only need a couple pounds right here. We are going to plant it heavy, but it's not a very big area. Easy as it gets. Now I'm gonna use the tractor and just track it all in. So hit the time lapse in 3, 2, 1, hit it. Easy as it gets. Extra 30, 35 minutes of work by the time we put the tiller on, got the seed, tilled it and seeded it and packed it. Extra 30, 35 minutes of work, and we're gonna put in a nice little section of Japanese millet down here, taking advantage of the bare soil from all the burn down and pre-emergent. Tilled it, prepped it, seeded it, rolled it in. I think we'll have us a nice little corner of millet down here. Will it make all the difference in the world? Probably not, but makes me feel better. So that's gonna wrap it up. I gave you a cornfield update. I gave you a millet field update. We just got done using the tiller and putting in a little micro Japanese millet down here where the corn was struggling. June 6th, I think we are well on our way to having us a dove field here. The no herbicide sunflowers are on the struggle bus. I'll probably update you on that here soon. The grasses came in quickly and the little plants are just struggling, especially without the rain. They're not growing very quick. It is tough without herbicide and without rain. It's been a tough year for the little sunflower test plot there. But we're rotated out of sunflowers this year. That's why we're not doing any sunflowers in this field, because of the weevil issue we're dealing with. But we've got millet, we got corn, a little bit more millet. I think we're well on our way here. Until those next videos, appreciate you guys watching. God bless and take care.